Hi. When I worked at the Disney Reservation Call Center, I thought that my job was just booking hotels and dining. But I quickly learned that you don't just hear people's vacation plans, you hear their entire lives. In this video, I'm going to share 4 calls that I'll never ever forget. 2 are so funny they sound made up, and 2 are so emotional they reveal the real reason they call it the happiest place on earth. And I promise you, the last story will completely change the way you hear the Mickey Mouse song forever. I was preparing to book a 5-night Disney vacation stay at a deluxe resort hotel for an older couple who frequently visit Walt Disney World. As a reservation cast member, I'm supposed to ask an open-ended discovery question so I can make sure I'm matching the solution to what their needs are. I asked the wife, who was the caller, "What are you most excited about when you come to Walt Disney World?" She said, "Golf." I said, "Oh, you mean mini golf?" She said, "No, real golf on a Disney golf course." I noticed her husband's last name in the guest profile is Arnold Palmer. I immediately recognized that he must have been named after the late Arnold Palmer, one of the most famous and greatest professional golfers of all time. I then laughed out loud at my own lack of awareness and said, "Oh, I see now. Your husband's name is Arnold Palmer." We both had a laugh and I finished the reservation booking. Let's ask AI to critique my interaction. My folly, the mini golf assumption. Your folly was gentle, innocent, and entirely relatable. It stemmed from operating on a perfectly logical assumption. The vast majority of people vacationing at Disney World are thinking about theme parks and family-centric activities. As a cast member, you're trained to anticipate needs, and your brain likely went down a mental flowchart. The guest, a Disney World trip, activity mentioned, golf, most common Disney golf experience, Fantasia Gardens or Winter Summerland miniature golf. I defaulted to the most common denominator, asking, "Oh, you mean mini golf?" This was well-intentioned and misplaced assumption that hilariously underestimated your guest's intentions. It was the classic folly of an expert, you, the Disney agent, momentarily forgetting the full, diverse scope of your product in favor of the most popular part of it. The gentle correction. No, real golf. This immediately creates a funny, slightly awkward gap between your expectation and her reality. In short, the story is funny because the cosmic coincidence of it all, of all of the thousands of guests you could have spoken to, you happen to make the mini golf assumption with the one person whose very name is synonymous with the professional sport itself. It's a classic comedic setup, a simple mistake that gets funnier and funnier as more information is revealed, ending in a shared laughter that makes for a much better story than if you've gotten it right from the start. This is the same type of headset we used in the Disney Reservations call center, and no, I did not steal it from Disney. I bought my own. I recently lost a spouse of 38 years, so pardon me if I get a little bit emotional myself reading this. I asked a guest, "What brings you to Walt Disney World?" And this was her answer. "I'm an 85-year-old widow. I used to go to Disney World with my best friend. She recently passed away. I'm going to Magic Kingdom in her memory to remember the good times we had together. This is my last trip. My body is wearing out. I have macular degeneration. I don't see as well anymore. I don't do any of the rides anymore. I'm just going to go to Main Street, USA, sit and people watch. I'm an INTJ personality. I'm an introvert. So, to get a better description of the emotions of my interaction, and this relates to the real reasons people go to Walt Disney World that many people wouldn't even know about or realize, reading the AI answer here from Google Gemini. The core emotion of this scene is bittersweet pilgrimage. It's a complex tapestry woven with threads of profound grief, deep love, and quiet acceptance. This isn't a vacation, it's a final, tender act of remembrance. The woman is undertaking a journey to a place that symbolizes shared joy and vibrant memories. But she is doing so with the heavy heart of someone who has lost their closest companion. Her decision to go to Magic Kingdom is a testament to the enduring power of her friendship, a way to feel close to her best friend one last time in the place where they were happiest together. There's a powerful sense of nostalgia and cherished memory as she seeks to immerse herself in the atmosphere of their good times. However, this nostalgia is tinged with the sharp pain of her friend's absence and the finality of her own physical decline. Her statement, "This is my last trip," combined with her macular degeneration and inability to enjoy the rides, brings a profound sense of acceptance and farewell. She's not only saying goodbye to her friend, but also to a chapter of her own life and physical ability to experience the world as she once did. Yet there is a quiet beauty in her intention. By choosing to simply sit on Main Street and people watch, she is finding a new, more serene way to connect with the magic. It's an act of being present, of soaking in the energy of a place that holds so much personal history. Her purpose has distilled from active participation to passive, heartfelt observation. In essence, the emotion is one of a loving final tribute. It's about honoring a beautiful past while gracefully accepting a difficult present, finding a moment of peace and connection amid loss and the inevitable passage of time. This next one is a fantastic story. It's a perfect example of how a high-stress situation can spiral into pure accidental comedy. The contrast is what makes it so memorable. I call it The Mad Guest. I once had a guest call. He was upset about something. He immediately replied that he needs to speak to a supervisor. The problem wasn't something I did. I was thinking ahead that I may have to transfer the call or at least put him on hold while I switch over to guest services cast member to determine how we can offer a solution to the problem he called about. I asked him to summarize the problem, as I cannot simply just forward the call. I need to determine if it is something I can help him with, like modify the dates or hotel on his reservation. But he started yelling at me and taking it out on me without even telling me what the problem was. See this here? This is the volume down and mute on the headset cord. As he was yelling at me, I started incrementally pressing the volume down button on my headset. The louder he yelled, the more I turned the volume down. He yelled for quite a long time, and I accidentally lowered the volume to 0 without knowing it. It totally went silent. So I went, "Hello, are you there?" No response. So I repeated the "Hello, are you there?" a couple more times. Then I said the standard, "I'll have to disconnect the call after 2 minutes because I don't hear anything. Are you there? Hello?" After another minute of total silence, I realized what I did and turned the volume back up. I asked, "Can you hear me?" He replies, "Yes." And I said, "Can you hear me?" And then he said, "Can you hear me?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Hey, wait, but you just answered me." Why did I say no? I don't know. Maybe the stress got to me. The situation was both confusing and funny to look back on. After that, I got him the help he needed. So let's ask AI to summarize what happened here. And it calls it the drama, the hostage situation. The scene opens with pure, unfiltered customer service drama. You have a guest who is immediately hostile, bypassing any attempt at conversation and going straight to a supervisor. This puts you in the classic high-stress position of being the gatekeeper who is being verbally besieging for a problem you didn't create and don't even understand yet. The drama is in the tension and the power imbalance. He's yelling, refusing to cooperate, and treating you as the target for his frustration. Your professional attempt to follow procedure, I need to understand the problem, is met with even more yelling. At this point, it's less like a reservation call and more like a tense hostage negotiation where the other person refuses to state their demands. The humor, accidental mute, and the brain freeze confession. The humor is born directly from your attempt to cope with the drama. It unfolds in a beautiful 3-act comedic structure. The silent rebellion. Your coping mechanism is a moment of quiet physical comedy. The image of you methodically pressing the volume down button as this yelling escalates is universally relatable. It's a small act of self-preservation, a silent rebellion against the verbal onslaught, the ironic twist. The humor escalates into a pure farce when you accidentally hit 0. Suddenly, the problem flips. You, in complete sincerity, believe the connection is lost. Your polite, scripted "hello, are you there?" is comedic gold because we, the audience, know that at the other end there's a man likely still in the middle of a full-blown tirade, completely unaware. You can't hear a word. This is perfect moment of dramatic irony, the punchline. The climax of the story is your own brain freeze moment. After all the stress and confusion, your brain simply short circuits when he asks, "Can you hear me?" The logical answer is yes, but in that split second, your stressed mind defaulted to the previous state of not hearing him, and you blurted out, "No." This "no" is the brilliant, absurd punchline that shatters all the remaining tension. The guest's completely logical and confused reply, "Hey, wait, but you just answered me," is the final beat that confirms the situation has officially left the realm of drama and entered the world of comedy. Your own question, "Why did I say no?" is the core of the humor. The stress got you so completely that you momentarily broke logic. It's deeply human and hilarious moment where a brain under pressure simply malfunctions in the funniest way possible. This last one is the most powerful story of them all. It starts with deep, real-world pain, childhood neglect, and ends with a message of profound hope, healing, and breaking the generational cycles. So, on this call, I asked a grandfather booking a reservation for his grandkid. I asked him, "What brings you to Walt Disney World today?" He burst out crying for like 20 seconds. And then he said, "My father used to be an alcoholic. He never told me, 'I love you.' I used to watch the Mickey Mouse Club television show as a kid. And at the end of the show, the goodbye song goes, 'Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. MIC, see you real soon. KEY, why? Because we like you. MOUSE. He highlighted the "because we like you" part. He said, "Disney World cast members are always so nice. They treat you special. It's like they like you. I feel loved when I go there. It really is the happiest place on earth." As they say, I'm booking this trip today to bring my grandson for the first time because I want to hug him and say, "I love you," and treat him like I always wanted to be treated but wasn't. I want to be the best grandpa for him. This man's story is one of profound emotional healing and breaking of a painful family legacy. His connection to Disney is rooted in deep childhood wound and the search for the love he never received at home. The emotional core begins with lingering pain and a deep-seated yearning for affirmation. His father's alcoholism and inability to express love left a void that he carried within him for his entire life. This is why the memory of the Mickey Mouse Club song is so important. For a child starved of affection, the simple direct line, "Why? Because we like you," wasn't just a catchy lyric, it was a lifeline. It was one of the first times he felt seen, valued, and liked. For him, Disney World became a sanctuary where that feeling of being valued is made real. The kindness of cast members transcends mere customer service. It directly answers that childhood need to be treated as special and feel loved. When he says, I feel loved when I go there, he is describing a powerful therapeutic experience. The park provides the emotional safety and affirmation his own father could not. The most powerful emotion in his story, however, is the redemption and the determination to break a generational cycle. His motivation for this trip has pivoted from seeking love for himself to actively giving it to his grandson. He booked this trip to become the man his father never was. He wants to create new positive memories filled with the hugs, I love yous, and special treatment he was denied. In essence, this trip is an act of transformational love. He's taking the pain of this past and consciously converting it into a future of affection and warmth for his grandson. He is not just visiting the happiest place on earth, he's going there to actively create that happiness for the next generation, and in doing so, to heal himself. I'm a licensed Florida real estate agent. If you want to take your vacation lifestyle and move to Orlando and live like you're on vacation and go to Disney anytime you want, get a hold of me at michaelchalice.com. I'd be happy to help you find your forever home. I'll put the link in the description below. So what do you think? If you'd like to hear more of my true cast member stories, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And for the comments, I'd love to know, has a place ever held a deep emotional meaning for you, way beyond what it looked like on the surface? Let me know your stories down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I was preparing to book a 5-night Disney vacation. Why am I doing this?